This
recording.
conference will now be recorded.
So up to now we have created tables, we have created table extensions, we have created entities and everything. It will take 5 or 10 minutes here. I will just explain you what are table extensions and base name extensions so that we will get to know how to work with them. So see here, I will start with EDT extensions because those are not a big deal. For example, if I go to data types, you can see extended data types. In these extended data types, some of the times you will have a requirement to create a EDT extension. For example, let's take an example of a commodity string. Okay, if you right click, you will have an option called create extension and click on this create extension. It will simply create a EDT extension. Okay, this is very simple, creating the EDT extension. And if you open this extension and if you go to the properties, you can see that there are only very few things that you can modify. You can modify the size, you can modify the label, you can modify the help text and the display properties, whereas nothing else you can modify. Okay, coming to the EDT extension, you can modify very few properties. And coming to the array elements, if I right click here, you can see there is no new array elements, table relations, no new table reference. So frankly speaking, if someone is asking me, I want to create a EDT extension, you know what I used to say? Don't create EDT extension. Instead of that, create a new EDT and then assign it to the field. Create a table extension and add it to the field. Unless and until you have the requirement to modify the size or label. If you want to modify only size and label, then only go with EDT extension. In all the other cases, create a table extension, create a new extended data type, go to the standard field, change the extended data type property. This is what I suggest. Okay, and as I told you, if the requirement is only with label and string size and help text, then you can go with modifying this here. You can do that as well. Please remember. Okay, this is about a EDT extension. And the next one and the interesting one is base enum extension. Coming to the base enums, if you want to extend this, simply you can right click and click on create extension. It will create an extension for us. Okay, but before that, you need to check few properties. One is extensible. For the base enum, if the property is extensible is set to true, then only you can create a extension out of it. Because you can see for few base enums. For example, access control type, you can see is extensible is set to false. If I right click, there is no create extension here. You can't create extension out of a base enum which has is extensible set to false. Then what to do? You need to go to the product group team and then you need to ask them to set is extensible to true. This is one more thing. And sometimes people used to ask me regarding the value, because in case of AX 2012, what we will be doing is we will create a new value in the base enum starting from 100 or 200. Okay, that is possible only if use enum value property is set to yes. Okay, if this use enum value is set to yes and is extensible is set to true, then only you can modify the value of the base enum, whereas in all the other cases you can't do that. This is about a base enum extension. And coming to the base enum extension, if you right click and create an extension, it will create a new base enum extension for us. You can say this. Oh, you can say I have created two extensions. One is enough. Let me delete one of them. I think already I explained you about base enum extension, seems like. Okay, but let me open this again back. Open. Now you can see this is the existing one. In the existing value, you can only modify the label property. And here you can create any number of new elements you want. Okay, any number of new elements. Any number means, again, don't think that you can create lakhs of enum values. It's limited. It's limited to 255. Please remember, you can create only that number. Okay, next, I think I got some question. What is difference between EDT extension and extends? See here, extends is EDT inheritance. EDT extension means you are not using the inheritance here. Remember, there is a difference. That's what I'm saying yesterday as well. EDT inheritance is a different concept. Okay, what is inheritance? All the properties of the child you will get it to, sorry, parent you will get it to child. Whereas in this extension, you have the existing EDT. You are not going to update all the properties. You would not be able to do that. You can only update the label and size. Whereas in the EDT inheritance, you can't update the size as well. Okay, you can't update the size as well. These are the differences between both of them. Okay, so this is about base enum extensions. Coming to the base enum and EDT extensions, these are very simple. Okay, hope it is clear. Now let's move to the interesting concept. Today is Okay, today is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These 3 days we will discuss on forms. Okay, Sunday you will have time to practice anyways. Later on we will continue. Now see here, to create a form, yep, go ahead.
On base enum extensions, uh, there are some values, some importance of base enum values is there on extension.
What are those values?
No, actually, in the like none for none zero, then one for a one.
That's what I told you. If you see here, for example, if you go to the properties of this one, there is a property called use enum value. If this is set to yes, then only you can use that values. Okay, if this is set to no, you can't see those values, and by default it will take from the next one. This is, let's say, 0 1 2 3, then it will take from 4. Okay, whereas for few of them it is set to yes. You can see, for example, this one is set to yes, but is extensible is false, so you can't use the values. Okay, there are very few base enums where they have set is extensible to true and use enum value to yes. Okay, if you need it, you need to go with a strong requirement, then only they will update it. Okay, done. Now, to create the user interface, we need to know few things. Okay, because creating the user interface in Dynamics 365 is very easy. Is very easy. Why it is very easy? Because up to AX 2012, we have something called form templates. Okay, form templates, and you can't see the user interface. So we need to create and then right click, open all the time and check. That was very difficult here. Whereas coming from Dynamics 365, it is very easy because we have a new concept in Dynamics 365 called design patterns. Design patterns. And you will get it. Oh, if there are design patterns, what about my own pattern? Can I create it? Yeah, you can create your own design pattern. You can do that. Okay. Now let's see how to work with the form patterns. Now see here, to start working with the forms, let me create a new form. Click on the add button, new item, and then I will go to user interface. You can see a form here. Okay, and let me call this as AMA address, because I am interested on a simple screen, so I am creating a screen for address where I want to add, delete the information and check. Okay, click on the add button. Okay, and now you can see design pattern as unspecified. Unspecified. Okay, by default you need to specify the pattern here. Okay, and here on the bottom you can see there are two tabs. One is preview. This preview will show how it will look on the front end, and then pattern. What is the pattern you have applied? Based on that, it will show the details. Now if I right click and click on the apply pattern, you can see there are a lot of patterns here. Okay, there are a lot of patterns here, and even along with this, depending upon the models that you add, okay, because there are few more standard models, if you add them you will get more number of patterns. Okay, because you can see these are the patterns that we will use very regularly, so this list should be sufficient. And along with this, at the end you can see there is a pattern called custom pattern. There is a pattern called custom pattern. Sometimes you want to add your own tabs, you want to add your own fields, then we will use this custom pattern. Okay, now you can see details master. Okay, what is the first pattern? Details master. So I think some of you know about AX 2012, so I would like to know what is details master. What is details master? What is details master? Please speak out, yeah. Okay.
Like
Let me show.
just
Yeah, like.
like a soul master or sale or purchase order. Like that.
Okay, let it be. I will show you how it will look like. No worries. See here. Coming to this design patterns, design patterns are divided into three different types. Okay. From that, first one is called primary pattern. Primary pattern. Okay. And the second one is called secondary pattern. Secondary pattern. And the third one is called sub pattern. Third one is called sub pattern. And it depends on where you will implement, how you are implementing. Okay. Because you can use all the three of them in your UI. You can do that. That's possible. Okay. So if you want to use only one of them, you can use it. I will show you what is a primary pattern, what is a secondary pattern, and what is a sub pattern. We will see that. Okay. Now, first of all, let me open the front end. Because in AX 2012, there is something called list page. And coming to Dynamics 365, you have that list page, but we are not going to use that list page. Instead of using the list page, we will be using details master. Okay, that is the biggest change that you will find in screens. Okay, because from the list page, if you select any one of the record, it will take you, it will navigate to the details master. If it is a customer's master, and if it is a transaction, then it will navigate to details transactions. It will navigate to details transaction. Whereas coming to the Dynamics 365, there is no list page. Whatever the front page that we have, whatever the front page that we have, we are going to navigate directly to that, and that is embedded into the details master. Okay, that is embedded into the details master. If I select the accounts receivable, all customers, then it will open the list of the customer records. Okay, what it will do here, it will open the list of the customer records. Now actually we used to call this as a list page in case of AX 2012. Now let me check. I want to right click and I want to click on the form information. Form name is cost table. I want to go and check whether it is a list page or whether it is a details master or what it is. Okay, let's do that. Now go to user interface and forms. Remember, we are going to use the personalize button. If you want to identify the form name, if you want to identify the form control name, okay, we are going to use the personalize. You can use the cost table and you can open this in the designer mode. Open designer, open designer. Okay, because while developing as well, you'll get it out. Oh, how to develop this pattern. Okay, because this is how I have learned. I will check the existing stuff and then I will start learning. Now you can see, details master, it's not a list page. And if you go to the properties of the design, okay, you can see here, these are the properties. The title data source, they have set it to the cost table. Okay, now again you will get one more question. Okay, this is displaying good. In these details, it is displaying good. Now you can see how the details master will look like. Now let me go to this navigation list group and this list style grid. Okay, and here they have taken the list style grid and name and account number. So this part, I want to see where exactly it is there. I have something here, modules. Okay, seems like it is disabled. No, not workspaces. This is tab page general. This is related information. And you can see if you click on this one, it will navigate to the part here. So can you say this? From where you are getting this related information? You are getting this related information from the parts. Okay, and financial dimensions. Whatever you select, general, it is tab page general. Like this, it will take you, it will navigate you to everywhere. Okay, so this is how you can work with the existing screens, because most of the times what people will do is, instead of navigating in this fashion, they will go and check, oh, where is a button? They will right click and view code, and then they will start navigating everywhere. Don't do that. Okay, if you select something here, it will automatically navigate there. Now I have a tab page grid here. Okay, so this is my grid. Actually it is not showing, it will show in the front page, because this is the main grid. We will call this as a main grid. Okay, so this is main grid, and whatever you are seeing here is the main grid. Now whatever the information that you add in the main grid, you will get it on the front end here. And if you select any one of the customer account from here, it will take you the inside page. Okay, it will take you to one more page. One second. Okay, you can see this is one more page, and that page is the tab page details. Tab page grid is the main grid. Tab page details is the details tab. Okay, now this is about a details master pattern. Okay, and it is a complex thing. We'll build it tomorrow. I will show you how to build the details master and how to get all the data tomorrow. But now this is the first pattern that we have seen. Now along with this, if I click on the apply pattern, okay, now you can see there are a lot of patterns similarly. In this, I told you about primary pattern, one of them details master. Similarly, you have details transaction for transactions. And what is the secondary pattern? Now you can see a dialog. Now you can see a dialog. In this, let's say if I go to customers, or if I click balance, what will happen? Let me check. It will open, no, not this one. This is again opening one more screen. I don't want one more screen. I want to see show a dialog. I am checking. Credit cards. Oh, contacts. Oh no, not this one. In case of sales order, you can click the confirmation. That will give your contacts, add contacts. No invoice. No, it's not showing here. Okay, no worries. We will have something called dialog. I will open it within a minute. Just give me a second. Okay, I will show you. Let me open the all sales order screen. Okay, and then let me click on this pick and pack. Let me select any one of the order. All are invoice. Okay, this is open order. Good. Let me select this order. Okay, I selected the confirmation button. Let's see what it will open. Okay, now can you see this? Here you can see at the back end, and this is a dialog. This is called secondary pattern. Okay, the lookups, the fact boxes. Previously as well, in the customer details master, I showed you the related information. In that related information, you have seen a lot of fact boxes. Those are called secondary patterns. The fact boxes, the dialogues, the lookups, all these are called secondary patterns. The secondary pattern needs something at the back end so that it can open. Okay, those are called secondary patterns. And the next one is sub pattern. Now if I go to the cache table back again, now if I go to this tab and then tab page, you can see pattern custom. These are called pattern fields and field groups. These are called sub patterns. Okay, these are called sub patterns. Okay, now let's see how to create a simple form. Okay, now here I am not taking some complex one, I am taking a simple one. You can see I have something called simple list. I am taking a simple list. Okay, by default when you select a pattern, okay, there will be two things, pattern and preview. Here in the pattern it will let you know what should be applied. It says 1 dot dot n. It's saying you can apply at least one and maximum n number of action panes. And custom filter group, there is nothing here, which indicates there should be one and which is mandatory. Simple list grid, you should add a grid control which is missing here and which should be one and it is mandatory. Footer 0 dot dot 1, either if you want you can add the footer or it's not needed. Okay, now let's apply it. Click on the right click, new. Okay, the first one is action pane. So what is the purpose of a action pane? Okay, the action pane, I am calling it as action pane. I am giving the same name and you can see here in this you can see there is a menu here. This menu is called action pane, and in this action pane you will have buttons. You can divide a button group and you can have different types of buttons. We will add it later on. Okay, I will add them and I will show you, but I will do that later on because I don't want to concentrate on action pane now. Okay, next, the custom filter group. Now if I open the front end, you can see there is a filter here that is called custom filter. Okay, and here if you type something, it will ask you in which field you want to search. Okay, which field you want to search. You can use this custom filter to make the search easier. And one more thing is we have something called control G in case of AX 2012. Let's see that. Now let's say I have an arrow mark here. I am selecting this arrow mark. Now if you select that arrow mark on the field, it should open a dialog. Okay, it should open a sub pattern. I am waiting for that. Just a second. It should open a sub pattern. Okay, this is a dialog. This is a sub pattern. Here either you can search with the value or you can sort A to Z or Z to A. So you will have this kind of options in this case, but there is no control G. Please remember. Okay, if you want to sort or search, you need to do in this. You need to apply filter in this fashion. Done. Okay. Now to get the custom filter, you need to create a new, and then here it will mention the control name, group control. Right click on the new and then create a group control. Can you see the group control? It's here. Okay, you can select the group control. Now right click, it is expecting the pattern. Now here as well, which pattern you need to apply? It is clearly saying custom filter group. So you need to apply a pattern, custom and quick filters. Done. And it needs at least one control, which is a quick filter control. Click on the new button and then add a quick filter. Oh, there is no quick filter here. What to do now? Let me save this for a while and then let me go to Dynamics 365 model management, update model parameters, Amazon. Next, we have selected application platform, application suite. I will select application foundation and application common. Okay, I am selecting two more models. Now right click on the new button. Did we get quick filter? Oh, not yet. Let me do one thing. Let me close this. Model management, update model parameters. I want to check if there is anything left out of standard. 1 second. Foundation, common, platform, suite, good. Personal core, okay. And then Okay, source documentation. This is one more I would like to apply. I want to close and reopen Visual Studio once so that it will load. Just a second.
Right, Mark.
Yeah.
This custom and quick filter only is the only one option is available.
Means
Custom and quick filter. Can we add
huh?
more filters to it or
No,
different type of?
only
Only
one.
one.
Only one.
Okay. And in
Because
the
that
reference,
one filter is enough to search in all the fields.
and in the reference packages, while you are selecting the reference package, there was something like tags or some other reference packages.
Yes.
So if I select tags,
Hmm.
so I will not able to be work on the tags module or something like this.
If you don't select it, you would not be able to work on that referenced package. Okay? Because for the tax model, there will be a lot of AOT objects. So if you want to use that AOT objects, then obviously you need to use it. Okay?
Okay, so whatever reference package I need to work, I have to select it carefully, depending on
Yes.
require, depending on
Yes.
analyze.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me do one small thing. If it works, it is fine. Otherwise, I need to build all the models. Okay? I want to build only referenced packages. Let's wait for a minute here. It will take around 3 or 4 minutes. The problem is that I need to build the models. Then only I will get all those controls. Otherwise, not. If it does not work, then I need to build all the models. Currently, I'm trying only to build my Amazon and then the referenced packages. If it does not work, I need to build all the models. Okay? To get the form controls. And obviously, it will throw error. It should throw error as well. Let's see.
So can we rebuild it or add referential packages after post implementation also to
That's
create
what
new?
I'm doing. That's what I'm doing here. Now we already implemented a lot of things. Later on, I'm adding.
After we upload it on the production server,
Yeah, you can do that. You
we
can
can
add
do and
reference
we.
packages at any point of time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So let's do one thing. We will discuss few more topics in the meantime. Okay, let it build. Now see here. Now the first pattern that we know is the details master. Okay, the details master. Now we know how it is working. The next one. Okay, now I have added something called simple list. So what is this pattern? What is this simple list? See here, if you have some small amount of data in your table, let's say you have a small amount of data in your table and you want to display it on the screen here. You want to display it on the screen. Then we will be using something called simple list form pattern. So where can you see that? See here, if you want to see that, there is a screen called customer groups. If you go to accounts receivable, you can find it. The second way is you can see search for page. We have something called search for page. Here you can simply type customer groups. Then it will obviously get the details. Okay. Then it will open, but let's wait for a second and see. Okay. Now you can see accounts receivable setup. Okay, here you have it. And there are a lot of customer groups. You can open any one of them. That's possible. But this is the second way which you can use to open the screen. Select the customer groups. Okay. It will open the screen within a minute. Let's see that. Now you can see It has the action pane, it has the custom filter, and it has the grid. So the same screen we are going to build for address table. The same screen we are going to build for address table. So when we take this simple list, because we have multiple different types of form patterns, we have details master, we have simple list, we have details transaction. Okay, so when to use which pattern? Now coming to the details master, let's say you have huge amount of data and you want to show the data from multiple tables on a single screen. Then you need to go for details master. On the first screen, you will display the main information, okay, main table information, and in the other screens, you are going to display the relevant information. Whereas you have a small table and you want to create or update the data on the particular table, there are no relations and nothing, then you can go with simple list. Then you can go with simple list. Okay, and if you are displaying the transactional data, then you will see details transaction, details transaction. Okay, I want you to try that. I'm not going to explain the template. Okay, next, simple list. Along with this, we have simple list and details. What is it? We have a form pattern called simple list and details. So what is the simple list and details form pattern? In this simple list and details, you can display the information and details of it. Let's say you have some one or two tables, okay, or a single table with a more number of fields. You want to display a small information on one end and the details on the other end. Then we will use the simple list and details. Okay, we will use simple list and details. For example, we have a form called payment term. Let's see, payment term. We should see some payment term. One second, I am waiting for it to finish loading.
So, Kumar, I just wanted to ask, are we going to learn this thing also?
What?
Because this personalization or something this is called. No? When we type something, it gives us different options.
I didn't get your question here.
No, basically, so the way you are typing payment and it gives us all the options of payment and all that. So is this also included in customization?
This is a standard piece of code here. This is not written by me. Okay, by default you will get the search page. Okay, if you are having the 10.0 na, then you will have this search for a page. It's raised in 10.0.4 or some version. Okay.
Okay.
Where did it go? 1 second. Okay. 1 second. Let me check that. Because it's not coming. I can expand all. You can see payment setup, terms of payment. This is the problem. Okay, terms of payment. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one. This is simple list and details. Now if I select the cash on delivery, it will show the details of cash on delivery. If I select the credit card, it will show the details of credit card. Now you have a table with more number of fields, or you have two tables and the details are not fitting into the grid. Okay, you can't display each and everything on the grid. Then what we will do is we will create a simple list and details. Here just we will display some small information, and relevant to that information, whatever the more information that we need with joins or whatever it is, we will display on this particular screen. Okay, you will have the right pane, and this is called the navigation pane, and on the left you will have the details pane. On the details pane we will display the details. On the navigation pane we will only display the navigation values. Might be the unique index value, either account number or something like that, the customer ID or whatever it is. Okay, so this is how we have simple list and details form pattern. Okay, yep.
So
Any questions?
details page again can have a list inside. For
In the
example,
sense,
if I display in the left side the customer names,
Huh?
and I also know how many or what are the items customer have purchased from us. So if
Yes,
I
you
click,
can display that. You can do that.
Okay, in a list pattern.
Yeah, you can do that. If you want to add a grid here, you can add a grid. If you want to add groups and controls, you can add a groups and controls. You can do whatever you want. Okay.
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 Thank
So this is about a simple list and details pattern. Okay. And similarly, we have seen something called fact boxes. We have seen something called fact boxes. So where can you see that fact boxes? That boxes can be divided into different types. Okay. There are mainly two different fact boxes, because if you see here, these are also similar to them. Okay, these are also, if you want to create using the form fact boxes, then you can use a form part here. We'll call it as a form part section. Okay, and similarly, if you want to use that form part as a fact boxes, in the details master we have seen the related information, you can place them there. That's possible. Okay, we will call it as a form part. As the name indicates, it is used for dividing your form into a simple part. You can divide that. Okay, you can divide that. Okay, and this is all up to you how you want to divide the form and how you want to work with that. You can do that. Okay, because these form parts are not used in the screens. These form parts are not used in the screens. We have a brand new concept called workspaces. In workspaces, we will use these form parts. For example, you have a purchase order, receipt, workspace. Okay, let me check. As I remember, I saw somewhere here. Let's wait for a second. I think here you should get it, the form part. Okay, like this, if you want to embed the form part, okay, currently it is not showing any details for USRT. If you want to embed the form part, you can embed here. Okay, you can embed that form part in the workspace, and this workspace is again very interesting. Please remember. Okay, form parts are generally used in workspaces, but if you want to use them on your screen, you can add that and you can display it in a what is that, relative information, relation information node. Okay, we can do that as well. So in this form part, there are two different types. One is called the form part section list, and the other one is called form part section list double. Form part section list double. So we will also see that. We will also see how to work with the form parts and how to work with it. Okay. And one very interesting pattern, the table of contents, is available in Dynamics 365 as well. So let me show you how it will look like. If you go to setup, accounts receivable, parameters, anywhere if you are observing the parameter screen, 99% of the cases, the screen will be table of contents. Okay, the screen will be table of contents. Here you can see these are called tabs. These are called tabs, and in each tab you will have some information. So this is about table of contents. We will see how to work with the table of contents form pattern as well. And along with this, I told you about workspace. Okay, this is a brand new thing in Dynamics 365. We will see how to work with workspace, and then we have something called dialog. Okay, I showed you the confirmation dialog. We will see how to work with the dialog, and then I told you about the fact boxes. So we will see how to work with the fact box, form part fact box, and these are the patterns that we will see primary. Okay, these are the primary patterns. Okay, and along with this, we will see the dialogues, drop dialogues. Okay, fact boxes, all those things here, and for each of them, again it will be divided into multiple patterns. Okay, because for example, if you have simple list and details, simple list and details with standard tabs, simple list and details with details tabs, like this, you will see a different setting for them. Okay, you will see multiple patterns for the individual one. Details master, details master, details master with standard tabs. Form part section list, form part section list double. Table of contents, that will be only one. Workspace, workspace tabbed, workspace operational. Okay, like this you will see different things. And similarly, we have something called task list. Okay, and this is of task single and task double. Okay, task single means it will have only one grid, task double means it will have two grids. To display some immediate information, we will use the task single and task double forms. Okay, task single and task double forms. Oh, sorry, unfortunately I closed it. Okay, so this is how it is organized. The screens are organized. And we will see all those things in detail in the coming days. Okay, along with this we will also see form methods and how the methods will get called. All those things we will see here. Now let me check once again. I don't know whether everything is built or not. Otherwise I need to build. Oh, now I got it. Okay, now you can see there is a quick filter control. Can you see this? You can see after adding the application foundation and application common and source documentation. Okay, we got all those things. Quick filter. So I have added the quick filter here, and if I go to properties, you will see only very less properties. There will be no label here. Okay, and you can call it as custom filter. Okay, and by default, which column you want to use from the data source, you can add it here. If you want to set some default column, you can add it here. That's possible. Okay, and this is a group control, and in this group control, you can add one quick filter, and you can see custom filter fields. This is one more group. If you want to add filter for each field, then you can add any number 0 to n. Okay, but I don't prefer them, because if you have the quick filter, the user will add the value and then he will go to the field and he will search here. Why to add this many filters? Custom filter fields, actually it is not important, because already in the quick filter you are getting everything. Again, why to get them here? Okay, because this is mandatory and there is no need of adding them, which is why they have set it to optional. Okay, I will call it as group control. Okay, and then the last one that I need to add is a grid. Right click and then click on the new. We will have a control called grid control, and this grid control is used to display the data. I will call this as address grid. Save. Now what we can do is you can go to the tables, and to add the data source there are two ways. Right click and new data source and change the properties. Drag and drop the table or view into this one directly. Okay, now let me check. I have a simple query, AM address. Let me drag and drop. You can add a query as the data source, you can add a table as a data source, you can add a view as the data source. Okay, you can add them. Okay, please remember this. Now okay, you can add either table as a data source, or either view as a data source, or the query as a data source. Okay, now I have added a query and this one as well, both of them. Okay, I'm checking for the delete button, but unfortunately it is not showing. Why? 1 second, let me check. What is this? Just a second. Oh, everything is slow, but even then I should get it. Okay, let me see this later on. Okay, now you can add the whatever the data source, either view or either query or either table. You can add any one of them as the data source. Now the next thing is, for this grid, you can set up the data source here. If you go to the properties, you have a data source and you can set it as AMA address. You have a data group. Now you can see auto identification, auto lookup, auto report, overview. Now if you want to set the data group and get all the fields from it, You can get it. This is one way of getting all the fields. Now the second way. Okay. Now the second way. I want to remove this. I don't want to select anything from here. Okay. Press enter button. I will remove this field as well. Delete. Now I want to add fields. Now what I can do is right click on the new button, and if you want to add a string control, select the string. Okay. Go to properties. You can see data source. Select the data source address. Data field is enabled. Select the data field. Okay. City. This is second way of adding the fields to the grid. And there is one more way. Now let me expand this AMA address. Let me go to the fields, city, country, district, state, street, zip code. Drag and drop to the address grid. This is one more way. These are the three ways with which you can add fields to the grid. Okay. And along with this, while speaking about the application defined methods, I told you about find exist. Okay. Find exist. And similarly, we have the user defined methods. Here, what you can do is we can write two different types of methods called display methods, and the second one is called edit methods. The display method, let's say you have a table here, okay, and in this form you want to add one more field and you want to display data on the basis of a select statement. You want to fetch the data on the basis of a select statement, and then you want to display it on the screen. Okay, then we can use something called display method. And if you want to make it editable, you need to use edit method. For that, we have a property called data method. We have a property called data method. And these data methods, either you can create in the form, either you can create in the table. Okay, when we will create in the form, if it is specific to this form, then we will create in the form. If it is specific to entire AOT, then we will create in the table. This is how we will decide. Okay, you can do that. Now you can see I have added whatever the fields that I need. We are done. Now for the city and all these things, we have already set the labels at address table itself. So I don't want to go with them again back to back. Now see here, I have the data source, and in the design pattern, everything seems to be good. Okay, it's not showing anything in the red color or exclamation mark, so everything seems to good. Okay, everything seems good. Now what is the next step? What is the next step? We need to run the form. Let me right click, and to run the form, you can set the form as the startup object, and then you can press F5. It will open the form for us. It will open the form for us. And if you create a labels in different languages, now if you update the language in form as well, you will find the language updated. If you have created the labels in different languages, in Telugu, Hindi, and English, and then if you change the language from the user preferences, and if you go to the form, you will find the language difference. Got it? Because languages in the front end from user interface, you can find the difference in languages. Okay, please remember. Let's say this, just a second, it is loading. And now can you save this? Oh, by default there is first record. Yeah, good. Hyderabad INA. Oh, what is this? USRT company, and we don't have data in the table. It's not displaying anything. Huh? It's not displaying the data here. It's not displaying the data. If you want to create a new record, you can simply click on the new button and you can create any number of records you want. Okay. I will say Hyderabad. Okay. From where you are getting this? Init values. Okay. From the initial values, you will get it. Okay. District, I will say Reddy and city, Ibrahim Patnam. Done. Street, Bhag Road. Save. Done. You can add the zip code. 1 second. 5000. Oh, 5000. 36. Save. Done. Okay. And here you can see you have the one record automatically. I did not create anything, but I went then I got it. From where I got it? Okay. You will have from properties. Okay. We haven't seen them. Now let me go to the data source and AMA address. Go to properties. Insert if empty. No. Insert at and no. These are the two properties which will do that stuff. Which will do that stuff. And this is the design. At the design level, if you want to set the data source design, you can set it. AMA address. I have set the design data source at the grid level. Grid data source, AMA address, it's already set. And remaining, these properties, I want you to look at them once because most of the properties will be similar to that of a table and fields. We have discussed now each and every place. These properties will be similar. Only few will be different. I will explain you whatever the different properties that we have. Okay. And now design data source is set, and default action we will see them later on. Workflow we will see them later on. Title data source. I will set the title data source as AMA address. If you set this title data source, you have something called title fields. Title field 1 and title field 2 at the table properties. Okay. So if you want to display the title information, we need to update this title data source. Okay. So now let me reopen the screen back again. Let me run this. One second, it's loading.
I have a doubt. You just said to get the form name and control name, we can personalize. So how to personalize?
If you right click anywhere on the screen, you will have the form information. Okay.
So
You can see the
this
form
we
name
call
and you can
personalize.
navigate it. Yeah. Yeah, in the meantime, please let me know if you have any queries.
Kumar, this is not related to this current session. And that
Yeah.
was related to select statement join.
Hmm.
So when I tried with two data source, it repeats the data actually.
Hmm.
And when if I apply sales line sales table, it will give me only the common record.
Okay.
My confusion is when I'm setting only two tables, it is repeating the data. I didn't check whether that is a common one or it has given the
Double.
extra.
1 second. I pinged you yesterday on the WhatsApp.
Mhm.
Take a Excel, take the data of two tables, whatever the
Mhm.
tables that you have taken, and check what is the join you have applied. And after join, what is the data you got? Add it into that Excel sheet, then you will get it. Okay.
That's fine, but just for clarification, so it will give you only the common data or it will give you the extra data? That is the only concern.
Inner join, it will give you common data. Okay.
Only common.
Yes, inner join will give you common data. Outer
Got
join
it.
will give you the all data. Okay. Now you can see
Uh,
there is nothing at the end. Okay. At the end, you will not find any record here. So this is how we will work with the screens here. This is how we will work with the screens. Okay, and you can see this is a quick filter, and you can search. Let's say if I add I and D. Okay, it's 1 second, it's loading. Actually, in EDT we have a concept called data interactor factory. Okay, so the data interactor factory is useful here, but that is nowhere used. Okay, but actually what that using the data interactor factory, what we can do is, let's say if you are defining some custom value here, if I'm typing Hyderabad, what it will do is it will search for the type of field and it will automatically go to that field. If I'm typing here Rangareddy, then it will go to district. Like that it will take. If you want to get it, then you need to use data interactor factory. Then you need to use data interactor factory. Okay, but that's again a different concept and different design. 1 second, let me remove this data source query from here. Oh, sorry. Okay, and okay, this is one more problem that you have seen. Okay, can anyone tell me what happened once you have modified the query? It will automatically remove all the data sources. Let me just drag and drop this address. This should be enough. Okay, that is about a data interactor factory. It is very rarely used because 90% of the times customers will not ask. If I type, I need to get it, because everything is chargeable. Yeah, in IT everything is chargeable. Okay, whatever you say, let's say you say, if the customer is saying I want this, then you know what the vendor will say. He will simply say, okay, to do that it will be, we will charge this much amount, we need this much amount of time. So what customers will do is they will try to take less in number instead of taking more in number. Got it? Yeah. Okay, so this is about how to work with the screen. So what we will do is we will see the form methods. Okay, because generally I used to take form methods at the end, but I want to take the form methods at the beginning so that you will be able to understand how they will work and you will be able to apply them in other screens. Okay, yeah. Now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries. If there are no queries, I will end session for everyone. And I want you to try labels as well. I want you to try labels. I want you to check in multiple languages here. I want you to add labels in multiple languages and change the language from user interface and check whether you are getting your language or not. I want you to do all those things. Okay? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yesterday, someone asked the question, without COC, can we add custom methods? So you said we can add a static method in event handler.
See here. Without COC, can you add custom method? Means custom method COC is not needed. If it is a standard method, then only you will go with COC. Custom method, directly you can create your new method in the extension and you can call it. There is no need of COC for custom method. Only for standard methods. If you want to extend them, then only you need COC. Okay?
What was said in the event handler? You said we can add a static method.
That is again a custom method. Because let's say in the event handler, you want to write 200 lines of code. Instead of writing 200 lines of code in the single event handler, you can split into a one more method, make it static, and you can call it. Because event handler is static, na? Event handler is not the instance one. Event handler is static. So that's why I said create a static method and call it from there. You can make a private static and you can call it. That's possible. Okay.
Is it necessary to be static?
It's necessary. Otherwise, you need to create an instance of that class, and then you need to use that instance. You need to create an instance of that class, and then you need to call the instance method. Okay, if you want to create an instance method, you can do that, but you need to create an instance and then you need to call it. Because this will not work in static methods. Next, any other queries? Okay, thanks all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time. Thank you all. Bye. Please practice.